Okay, so hey guys, I'm back with another bike, which is the Guerrilla 450. Yeah, I told you in the last video that I'm going to be making, you can say, ownership review or just, my perspective on this bike. So, I bought this bike for around like 28 October. So, November, December. So, yeah, yesterday she had 2 months completed. And there are some reasons this bike is, the best bike you can get below 4 lakh rupees. I would say you can ditch the Duke and anything that comes with me. So, yeah, that was something behind. So, I don't know, man. First of all, if you look at it, it is subjective, but the rear looks so pretty, and anyone would say that. You cannot hate on it. Like, literally, let me just show you properly. How can you hate on this thing? This thing looks immaculately perfect. I'm thinking of swapping a 180 on it. Like, yeah. So I'm thinking of swapping a 180 on it, the whole H1s or something like that. Because the 160 on this, the tires are not that great. The grip is really bad. I don't know why they went with this thing. It just looks good, but it doesn't perform the part. Bike needs more traction, but I would say it really doesn't affect you unless you are on wet roads. And that is the thing, when you're in like town or something, people generally throw water on the roads. So yeah, that is the thing. And I would still say it is not a beginner bike. Like, I would say you can, if you live in a city, I would say Duke is a better option than this thing. And the basic reason is the power delivery. It has all its power delivered in the low RPMs, like 2 or 3,000, whereas the Duke is in the higher RPM. So yeah, it is comparatively harder. So yeah, let me just give you a sound preview. What I'll do is I'll keep the other phone on the edge. Yeah, so we'll put it on the recorder mode. What the fuck? There is no recorder mode. Camera mode, we'll just take out the audio clip from it. So yeah, we're going to put it, I think so around here would be perfect. So yeah, so we're keeping this phone over here. And now let's turn on the bike. So the one thing I like about this bike is that you don't have to use your both of your hands, which you generally don't have to do in most bikes. So here we go. The switch is below it. The fuel pump. Look at the tachometer. I'm not going about that. You'll get an idea of it through the other video. So yeah, there's our phone. So yeah, let's start the recording on this one. Sadly, I wouldn't be able to give you a small ride around like the last video. I know that quality wasn't that great, but it doesn't have a phone stand because it has integrated navigation system. The console in itself is the USP of this bike. It has everything you want. Let me just turn on the indicators. So yeah, and it switches between 2 modes. You have a button over here, and when you push it, it changes the mode. So in this, like, yeah, let's talk about mileage. So I have ridden it around 1646 kilometers, and the current mileage for this bike for the last 134 kilometers is 26.3, including a little bit of, you can say, city or village rides, and most of it is highway. So the highways I did, in which there were like 10 or 15 kilometers of traffic once. So 15 kilometers of traffic, you have to reduce it from the, and 26.3, it just got reduced right now because of the way I rode, just because I wanted to give you guys review. So yeah, that's the thing. And talking about the console, the one thing even this bike has missing, like my Java, is the fuel indicator. If you're in reserve and then you fill the petrol, sometimes it takes time to show up, and if you fill the petrol and it is still under the reserve mark, which is like 3 liters for this bike, then it doesn't update. Like, it shows you how much you can go and all that things, but if you don't fill it above the reserve, then it doesn't show you any of those. So that is one thing I think so it is missing. I haven't used the voice controls and all those things. And yeah, one more thing, it has an app for navigation. You can say it is the Enfield app itself, in which you can buy the accessories and all those things. But the issue with that thing is, I use an iPhone, so first thing is, when you connect it, you get the full-fledged thing, or you can even have it turn-by-turn navigation. But connectivity is really bad. Like, I don't get it. First of all, you have to keep your phone screens on, and I'm happy it has a Type-C port, so you can just plug it and put it in your pockets. So that is not a big deal. But the big deal for me is that it always keeps on disconnecting. Even the phone is, on all the time. Like, even the display is on. So that is one of the things I don't like about this bike. So yeah, I'm planning to get a phone mount. I'll make a video on it someday, which will stick out of over here, and then I'll use my MI phone as it doesn't have OS. So yeah, that is the thing. And yeah, I made a video on those gloves and helmet. Not the helmet. If you want me to make one on the helmet, is like the Batman edition from Exxon something. I got it for 6 or 7k something. So let me know. The bike overall looks pretty good. The headlights, I love the way they are clear. The exhaust sounds great, and I love the aluminum finish. I would say this is the best color you have in this thing, because it looks the most Royal Enfield of other colors. I got the radiator card from the showroom itself. I was thinking about, and also this headlight grid. It is useless, but I love the way it looks. It makes the you can say headlight setup look bigger. So yeah, that's fine. And one other thing is that this thing is loose. Like, it gets out of, as you can see. Let me just show you. It easily gets out of here, and I don't know, I need something to substitute it, but things don't always go the right way. And one of the other things that I don't like about this bike is the plastic quality. The fitting and finishing of this part, as you can see, is really bad. Let me just put it on 1x. It's really bad. Oh man. Yeah. And the weirdest part is that this has this weird marks. I don't know why they are from the day I bought it. As you can see, when the color is fading away, it might be because I haven't washed it in a few days. And if you guys are seeing this part and you're thinking this is made of metal, no, this is completely plastic. This is bullshit. I don't like this thing. If you just don't want to take it, just don't give it. And if you want to give it, just at least give it a metal plating or something like that, because it moves around and I hate the way it looks. Because when you keep it outside, the plastics are of real bad quality, so they tend to so they tend to loosen up some color. Same with the rear. This isn't black anymore. I don't know if you guys can see. This isn't black anymore. This is like sort of gray, or a shade of gray, I would say. The rear tires, oh my god, it looks so fucking good. Just let me give you a 360 walk around. The reason is this road has some, you can see, traffic, and I'm not as good with talking to people when it comes to that. Let me just take off my gloves and helmet, Yeah. Yeah, it looks pretty. It really looks pretty. The only complaint I would say I have is with the headlights. So they are generic. They are on almost every single of their REs lineup. You can say every single bike of theirs. And the tires, that is like a big no. I am fine with like block tires and all those things, but the issue is they lack a lot of grip in the back, and that is literally bad. I would say, like, if you're in first and second gear and going from like 10 to 15 and still it just slides. I don't know what's the issue with these tires. I really want to switch them, but there's something between me saying not to, because this isn't my money, this is my dad's money, and I think so I should use it properly. So yeah, I haven't washed it in a few days, so it might be a bit dirty, and I'm going to wash it today, though I thought it would be a better idea to do the shooting in the morning. So the 180 rear is good, the 120 looks good. I won't say the performance is that good, but if you aren't on wet surfaces, not riding in rainy season, then it's fine. The other thing is the chain doesn't dry up like my Java. It is like pretty good. Right now it needs some oiling, I would say. As you guys can see, that's not rust. Okay, so yeah, except that thing, everything is literally perfect. And one more thing, if any Royal Enfield guys from the factory or like the dealership are saying this, please request for an extra part that covers up this area, because I'm not able to clean this thing. This looks so fucking dirty. If you look at other part of the bike, they just have, you know, sort of light dirt on it, but that area cannot be washed. And even this part, I can wash this part, but I cannot go lower than that now. And same with this thing. That's fine, that is fine, that is actually fine. And if you have like some water, there is the issue. Like the water goes about this thing, the rear fender. So yeah, as you can see, the watermarks, it doesn't reach over here unless you're going like high speed, but you generally don't when you go through water because of your anxiety. The second thing is, I don't like this panel, to be honest. Like, it makes it look good. The overall bike looks masculine, but the rear panel makes it look a bit feminine in my sense, I would say. So I was planning to, you know, just delete it, but the issue is this isn't completely covered below it. It has some electronic part over here, so I can't just remove it. Except that, I don't think so there is an issue. You know, the mileage. The best mileage I got on this bike is around 35 km per liter, and that is some crazy thing. The fuel economy is crazy, but keep in mind there were like village roads, and on top of that, yeah, there wasn't traffic and I wasn't stopping anyway, and I was just letting it slide, not, you know, riding it aggressively. If you're like riding on highway or something and you're not that aggressive, some pulls are fine, but you're not that sort of guy, hey, I'll race this guy, or you can just, yeah, I want to overtake that car, then it will give you around 29-30 easily. That's the beauty of this bike. It gives you mileage, and the best part is you can see the mileage active. You can see even the active mileage. Okay, like it isn't based on the trip. Like if you're riding and there is, let me just show you. So as you guys can see, I would, if I can go lower, the trip 2, the overall it has given me 22 mileage, and I'm happy with it as compared to my Java. The fuel range 89. The fuel consumption, okay, this shows how much mileage you're getting currently, and that is some crazy thing. The battery voltage, also a good thing. The service due dates, like it has had its first service, which was I guess around, I don't know man, 22,000 rupees, 2000 or 1980 rupees, something like that. The oil was changed and basically nothing was required. And the next servicing, that guy told me around 9,000 would be just, you know, basic maintenance, around below 1,000 or like 800 rupees ho jayega wo. And the disc, I guess the rear are 270s. I guess they're 270s. They look pretty awesome and I love them. But the front disc, I don't know why Royal Enfield went this setup. I said the setup is fine. I would say the way the disc look is so out of its character. I don't know man, this disc looks weird to me. The brakes are perfect, like these brakes are better than the 390s for me. The ABS isn't intrusive if you know how to balance both of the brakes. That is one of the things. You get the horn, the basic, they have a joystick, and I have seen many people have issue with these things. The only issue is it gets rusted easily. So once it happened, what the issue was, the lower part wasn't working. It was basically due to the water stuck in it. So that guy just put some WD-40 and washed it, and it was working normal. And the service part of Royal Enfield is the best thing ever happened to me, because I own a Java and I know what horrors they do in the servicing. So yeah, I love those guys, okay, because I went for servicing to take a date, and then they were like, bhai kar denge, ye ho jayega. They just gave me a date in 1 or 2 days, and then servicing was done in like a few hours, I guess. And the way they polished the bike, it was looking so damn perfect. Even Java couldn't do that shit, okay. Just I would say, if you want something reliable, this is the bike. If you want something that is well built, then that is the Java, because it has better hardware than this thing, because it lacks, you know, a lot of parts which are made out of metal, like, you know, you expect from a Royal Enfield. But Java doesn't. Java has almost all of its parts except that the rear case, I would say, the chain cover, and the side panel, which is out of fiber, but it is pretty darn finished, and that is a pretty good option. Talking about the fact is, this eye catcher. No, this is not eye catcher. I took the least, eye candy bike that I could from the Guerrilla lineup. And this is hands down the best bike Enfield has ever made. Because I wanted to take a GT, but that thing is unpractical. This thing is crazy. Like, you're getting the engine of the Himalayan tuned for the city. That is like a crazy thing. And on top of that, it can do crazy off-road because of those tires. And I'm loving it so far. There is nothing bad about it. The only thing is, the guys offered me a Teflon coating on the parts to protect them from dust and water, but it has turned the other way around. So I don't know if you guys can see, but it has a lot of scratches. Oh, fuck, my ring. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see. I don't know why they are, because no one touches my bike, but still they are. The rear seat, I would say the pillion comfort is damn good, because that is one of the reasons I took this bike, and that is my Java. The Java had a few issues that this bike doesn't, that is the ground clearance, the power delivery, because this bike is the best if you're using it for the city. The reason I'm saying this is because between 2 or 3000 RPMs it gives you all of the power you want in this world, and that is pretty much enough. And even in the top end it doesn't lag. It has a weird power curve, I would say, when it goes to 2-3,000 RPMs. Like in each gear it increases a little bit more, but then it gives you like a sense of, yeah, I can remain in this place, and that is where you can cruise, the Himalayan character. And then when you go to the top end, it has a roadster character that push me more. It just speaks for itself. The exhaust is pretty good, and the fuel pump also, I guess so. Yeah, it is the fuel pump that makes a noise when you're like giving it the throttle. I don't know if you guys have noticed. I'm Redmi Note 10 Pro. So that is the thing about this bike. There is no engine hitting, okay? Let me just clear that thing up. It has no engine hitting unless you are in crazy traffic like Pune. Even there, the hitting isn't that major as compared to my Java. My Java sometimes burns my legs. Burns my legs in the sense like you feel that if you'll stay longer in that duration or time span closer to the engine that much, and that you can say case. So it feels like bhai main to, yeah, if you get it right, what I mean to say. Even the radiator fans are damn big on this thing. I don't know if you guys can see. I like the overall body lines, but I wish the tail was a little bit different, because the reason is the tail is comparatively a lot big. I would say if they could have just cut all of this part and put it over here, it would have looked better, because anyways it isn't doing the job of protecting you from the water, so at least it would be aesthetically pleasing. And people are putting like those guards, what do you call it, I don't know man, I forgot it. Okay, so overall this bike is a good bike. It has good comfort, yeah, it has vibrations, but I would say they are fun to ride. The passenger behind me, whoever sits, and then they are comfortable. I just took my aunt yesterday around 30 kilometers forth and 30 kilometers back, around 60 kilometers in total, and it was completely comfortable for her. She had no pain or nothing. And the only issue was the weight of this motorcycle, because the weight is an issue when you take a turn or something, because I would say the main issue I don't know how to say this, yeah. Like, the thing is, when you ride a Java, the center of mass is low, okay. Its center of mass is way, you can say, above the ground than compared to the Java. So when you just, lean it a bit on the spot, so it is hard to, take turns and all those things with a pillion. Without a pillion, then the bike is fine. It has center stand, and I don't know why the fuck they gave it, because it is really hard to put it in the center stand sometimes. And the main issue is it is so much weirdly positioned, like all of the weight is above the center stand, it is not in the front or the rear. So what it does is it breaks the tires wherever I park it on the double stand, and that is pretty weird. And due to that reason, it doesn't have that sort of, you can say, grip. I don't know what to call that shit, because it isn't meant to have grip. So I would say it just slides away sometimes, and that is a little bit annoying thing, to be honest. And they gave me the engine guard, and that is pretty good. I would say that is the best engine guard I have seen on a bike, period. Because when you look at it, it doesn't spoil the look of the bike, it just exists, and I love that thing. Except that thing, the indicators are perfectly good, the front fender does the job, and unlike the Triumph, it has nuts and screws that are on the mud guard. So actually, I don't know. I feel like there is a gap between this because there is a lot of dust between them. But that's fine. I will say, like, I can't expect more than that thing. So that's the overall review. I cannot give a small ride review because I just can't because it has no phone stand, as I told you. And I'm trying to get a helmet setup, as I have a good helmet, but I have the fear of damaging my iPhone. So that's a big no-no over there. So but yeah, I'll just try to do the setup, and I'm going to do a full body wrap, mostly inspired by Marlboro, as you know, red, white and black. Let's see, because it has a lot of scratches and I don't know why. Okay, so they have no takeover. Mileage is great, better than the Java. Weirdly, having almost more than 120 cc's and still having better mileage is something weird while giving you more performance. It is happy in the lower rev range, it is happy in the higher rev range. In the middle, it lags somewhere and has a lot of vibrations, but it can be both sporty and easy to ride in the city. The weight is a lot unless you're riding it. If you're riding it, then the weight doesn't feel a lot. The instrument cluster is the best thing about this bike because you get everything you want, from service days to the battery like level checking, and the fuel economy, to every single thing. Except that the engine is like the most charmful engine I've ever ridden. Maybe the BS 650 or the Enfield twins. Nothing comes close to this engine. This is like the masterpiece. And I would say you will have KTM level of fun. Like, it is like a 390, but it's mature now. It knows what it should be and it is what it is. I mean, like, 390 should be good in the top end. I get it, but overall, I love the way this bike is. It's just so perfect in every sense. It can do off-roads, it can do on-roads, it can go fast, it can cruise, it can go slow. I don't know what else you want from a bike. And the reason I'm making this video is because I just saw a video of Sajay Childeka. So he uploaded a video yesterday, and I guess today is 29th. So yeah, here's the review. Ownership review, you can say. This is my own bike. Okay, the Java is owned by my dad, like it is in his name. This is technically and legally in my name. So I had a lot of fun. I haven't ridden so much, but around 6,000 kilometers overall, except Activa. Activa has seen a lot of world with me. So yeah, this is a good bike. The rear suspension is okay, like a little bit firm. So my takeaways, this is the last conclusion, okay, I promise. Change the tires because they're not that great. If you want to use them properly, but don't expect high performance and good grip. Just go slow on them when you're in the wet. The DRLs are great. The seats are good. You don't have a need to put any covers on it or anything like that. It just packs you in perfectly. At least for me, I'm 5'11" or 6 something. I don't really remember, but I'm above 5'10". Okay. The radiator does it works. The engine doesn't heat up. The brakes are the best in the class. In the class, I would say, like, better than the 390s. That is the class for this bike because there's a thing called as character. And what Royal Enfield does is it gives you bigger engines with lesser power, which makes them more stable and less likely to heat up. I would say they may give you lower performance, but if you look at it, it gives the same level of performance as the 390s. It can go about around 171. I have taken it around 165 or something. So that's no more an issue. So, and what Enfield really does is that I have known as they take bigger CC engines, give them lesser power, makes them more reliable and comfortable to be around, gives them more mileage, and also adds the extra character of the heavy engine. And I love that thing about them. Like, I've never liked Royal Enfield, and now I own one. Pretty weird to say, but yeah, I love this thing. This is just the perfect. If you don't know what bike you want, off-roader or on-roader, or or something that you want to hyper ride with, or something you just want to cruise with, this is the perfect bike. The fairing, you can say, fairing bikes in India are almost over. You get like the Charisma, which is like completely dog shit. Yeah, compared to this thing, okay, it is like good according to its price range, but if you just want a fairing performance bike under 4 leg, then that is dog shit. The RC390 most people don't like the way it looks, and I think so it will get the new 390cc engine soon. So that is a bargain, to be honest, and no one buys that thing. KTM is bankrupt and we all know it. So you don't have any options. You have the Aprilia 457, which is a great bike. I love the way it looks. I just saw it. But yeah, man, like that goes above 4 lakhs, and that is a lot of money. And this is the thing you can get for 3.2 lakhs, but can go around 170. That thing goes over around 200, but it would be faster. Faster in the sense, I would say it has better initial. At least I think so. Okay. 40 VS and 40 horsepower is like the perfect combo, I would say. The gear is crisp. The only issue is with the neutral thing. Like if you're going from first to second, it generally falls in the neutral. At first, now I'm used to it, but it still sometimes happens. And that's okay. The fuel tank is great. I don't like the way it is. Okay, just let me show it to you. The fuel tank. The fuel tank has an issue, I would say. When someone is putting fuel into it, as you can see, there is a rod between which doesn't allow the guy to go lower inside. So what it really does is like the fuel is spread all over the tank. Not this much, but in this much portion. So that is the thing. Just let me show you. Yeah, that thing over there. So that is an issue with this bike. And one more thing, like if you have navigation and you just remove the keys and go to open the tank, you have to again connect it, and that is pretty hectic. I don't like the thing. I think so they should have made an option to like keep the navigation on, or like added an extra mode for just the electronics to work. Then I'd be happier. I'd be really happier. Maybe it is because of the safety reasons, but that's fine. What else? Suspensions are pretty good. In the front, the rear is a bit stiff, but I think so you can adjust it. I didn't want it to. The headlights, I wouldn't say are bad, but they are okay. They're not that great. The best you can get is on the NS400 if you want to. Overall, this is a premium bike, I would say. A little bit of those plastic things make it, a little bit cheaper experience, but not that cheap. It is way better than the Triumphs. The Triumph is a properly finished bike, but necessarily doesn't have good parts because Bajaj made them. And I don't like the way the front forks look and those things. Because if I'm making a retro bike, I don't want upside down forks in it, unless it's like a pretty high segment bike. So it is too much small. And yeah, I'll just make another video comparing it with other bikes because I have ridden most of them. Maybe the NS, the 400, the Domina. Which else do we have? The Duke 390, I will say. The Duke 390 is a good bike, but a lot of them. So I'll let you guys know when the next video drops. Yeah, see you soon. Thanks for watching. Yeah, one more thing. I'm wearing a helmet. I don't know if you guys can hear me properly. So there is the Java. And this is a Guerrilla 450. I'm thinking of giving it a name, but yeah, I just wanted to, if you really like or found this video even a bit helpful, just give me a like and subscribe, man. And if you have any questions, just post in the comments below. I'll just answer it anyways because, that's what I'm meant to do. Because I'm happy to help you guys and just let me know. I have a target of like 20 subscribers maybe in January. That is like a really big target for me. So yeah, thank you. And if you want, I can make a comparison video based on the other 400 cc's that you get in this class, the NS400 and the Speed. And maybe I haven't tried the Maverick to be honest, but yeah, I can give you a comparison of these three as I have tested in them a lot of times. So yeah, just let me know. Thank you for watching. Bye. Peace out.